In this video series, we'll be covering how Chromalox uses the CRM Insightly. In this first video, we are going to be looking at the Insightly layout as well as how Chromalox uses organizations, contacts, and tasks. When you first log into Insightly, it'll take you first to the home page. And this home page is customizable based on what you would like to see here by selecting on this small arrow, and then you can select the different views you'd like to see for home. It's even possible for you to create your own dashboard that would contain the information that's most applicable just to you. In today's video, we're going to start out by looking at organizations. So I'm going to click on this menu over here on the left, and organizations are Insightly's name for companies. So here you'll see some different companies that we have stored within our system. As you're within the organizations, you'll notice there's different columns of data that's displayed. This is also customizable for your own view if you would wish. As you click on one of the organizations, you'll notice that this blade comes out. What this blade does is it has all of the further detailed information on this organization. So the first tab of the sub-menu here is talking about all of the different details. There's more information that's stored here in the related section where you can see the different contacts or opportunities or projects that this organization has been linked to. You can add new links by simply clicking where it says add link, and then you can start typing what you want to be able to link it to. You'll also notice that there's another tab for activity. This is where you would see all of the emails that have been stored here to Insightly to this organization record, as well as the tasks and events would all be stored here. The final tab that you'll see on the submenu is the news section. And when you click here, Insightly will do a Google search to see if there's anything new going on for this particular company. You can always edit an organization by clicking on the arrow button up here to go in and edit the information further, or you can click on some of the individual fields to be able to make edits. All right, let's go through what to do when it's time to add in a new organization. So before you add any organization to Insightly, we want you first to search the system and make sure that it has not already been added. So to search for the organizations, I'm going to come up here to the top search bar and type in the word sample. That's the organization that I'm trying to add. Now when I do this, you'll notice it'll pull up some top search results, but if I hit enter, then it will actually pull up everything that has the word sample in it. So contacts, opportunities, organizations, events, everything that contains the word sample will show up here. If you notice, there are no organizations right now that contain the word sample, so I know that that is not already in the system. So I'm going to come back here to my organizations, and we're going to add in a new sample organization. In the upper right-hand corner, I'm going to click where it says New Organization. This will give you a pop-up where you can start entering in the information. So I'm just going to put in the word sample for this particular organization, and then you'd enter in the phone number and the fax. And if you notice, when I typed in the organization name here, it came up with a possible duplicate. If you notice something that looks like it's already in here, then you could cancel out the creation of your new organization and go with what's already in here in the duplicate. Since these are not the same, I'm going to go ahead and click the X to cross that out. And then I'll just continue adding in the contact information. So you can enter in the fax, the website, the LinkedIn information for the company, Facebook and Twitter for the company. It will also give you an option here to add email domains. What email domains do is it takes the domain name for this particular company, and any email that's saved in Insightly that has that email domain at the end of the email address, it will not only save it to the contact record of who sent the email, but it will also save it to the organization record that has that same email domain. So if you would like to save an email to an organization, you need to make sure that the email domain exists here as well. As you continue scrolling down, you will enter in the billing address and the shipping address if those are different. You will also be able to add in some dates to remember. So if there was something that you wanted to remember, such as you know, the company's founding date or something like that, then you could put in founding date, select a date from your calendar, and ask it to repeat yearly or to send you a reminder so that you could reach out to them. I'm going to clear those out for now. Next in, you'll see where it talks about description. This is where you could put in some more specific information about the organization. So, for example, who are their clients that they serve, or what area of the country do they do business in. Whatever it is that you would like to be able to keep track of in the description, you can enter it here. We're not using tags at this time, so there's nothing that you need to put into the tag list information. And finally, in organizations, you'll want to select which sales territory they're in. I'm just going to select one at random right now. And then you can enter in the potential annual revenue and who their current supplier is. If that's information that you don't know right now, you can always come back and edit the record later to be able to add in more information as it becomes available. Once you have that done, I'm going to go ahead and click Save, but notice that you could also do Save and New to create another organization. I'm going to click Save here, and now you'll notice that this is our organization that we created. So we'll have the same submenus that were available here before, and the same detail page. Again, if you wanted to make edits to this organization, you could click the Edit button up top, and then scroll through and make edits to anything that you need to. Now that we've covered organizations, let's start talking about contacts. So again, organizations are the companies, and the contacts are the individual people. They're displayed here on the left-hand side, and if you notice, it's pulling up the recently viewed contacts. If this is not the view you'd like to see, then you can come down and select any of the other listed views that are available, or create one of your own. Right, I'm just going to select all contacts. All right, so this is very similar to what you have seen in the organization record as far as it's laid out. So we've got all of these different columns which are customizable. And then here we do have several tags that are appearing in the tag list. If you see this menu bar pop out on the right-hand side, you can always choose to hide it by clicking this button here so that you have more room to view the rest of your data. You could also choose to open it up, and if any of these tags are something that you would want to be able to filter by, for example, plumber, I can click on the word plumber and it will pull up everyone who has that particular tag. Or architect, here's the people that have those tags. And then to go back, I would just click on this view up here and go back to all contacts. As you click into a contact, you'll notice it has the same basic submenu here. So here's all the detailed information that belongs with this particular contact, all of the related things that it's connected to, like its organization. If this person was also connected to an opportunity or a project, you would see those links here. And finally, you'll be able to see the tasks. So this is where we can look at emails, tasks, and events that have all been saved here within Insightly. Now that we've taken a look at how it's laid out, let's start by adding in a new contact. Just like with the organizations, we want to make sure that the contact does not already exist in Insightly so that we're not creating a duplicate. So start up at the top with the search data and start searching for the name that you're wanting to enter. So I'm going to click sample and hit enter. And if we notice, we have a gym sample here. So if my contact was different than that, then I would want to go ahead and add them in. So I'm going to come back to my contacts, and now I'm going to create a new contact. Let's say this is Aaron sample. And then you'd want to be able to select the organization that this person is connected to. So you can start typing in here. I'm going to start typing in sample, and it will pull up this sample organization that has already been added. I always recommend adding the organization before you add in the contact. Okay, then we can put in the title. So who is this person at this company? Let's maybe say that this was the VP of Sales. And then you would fill in the contact details. So email address, phone number, all of that type of information that you have. Okay. So here's the mailing address, and other address, that would be like a shipping address. Then you can have the dates to remember. So if you wanted to record their birthday or something like that, you could enter that into Insightly. And then finally, you'll see the description information. So if you wanted to keep track of maybe this person's interests or big projects that they're wanting to work on, you could keep that track of that in the description. And then finally, the tag list. So there are lots of tags here in Insightly for contacts, and if you wanted to use one of them, if you click in the box here, it will pull up all of the existing tags. So if I click on one, it will automatically add it. You can also create new tags by typing here in the tag list. But be aware that anytime you make a space, it's going to assume that that's a different tag. So if you notice district manager here has a hyphen to make sure that it's separated into two words, but it looks like two words, but it's actually just one tag. Okay, I'm going to cross out my new tag here now in this one, and we'll go ahead and click Save. Just like we saw on the other records, you've still got the details section here, the related to see what it's connected to, and the activities of the history of what's been going on with this particular contact. I'd like to walk you through how to add a new activity to a contact record. And this process is the same if you were adding it to an organization or an opportunity or any other record type. So first I'm going to come over here and click on where it says Add Activity, and then choose which type of activity I would like to add. So let's say that I wanted to add a new event. So at the top we're going to put in the name of the event. You can put in the location of where the event is taking place and the starting and ending time of the event. You can also select all day event if you like and put in a description. When I click Save, this event has now been added, and you can set up your settings if you would like to automatically push this event to your Outlook calendar as well. All right, one other thing I wanted to show you here in the contact section, and that is that over here on the left-hand side, you will see that there are lots of boxes. This is so that you can do bulk editing. So as you select some of these contacts, you can see the bulk edit option. So you could give them all a tag, you could add an activity set to all of them, a link, a note, send all of these people an email. There's lots of things that you can do in bulk. So that's what that side is for. Then you'll notice that over here there's a star. That star means that you're choosing to follow that contact. So if you wanted to receive email notifications, for example, anytime that a contact was updated, then you could choose to follow that, or do it manually by clicking the little star, and now you would be following this contact. The three dots here will be able to pull up a menu of things that you can do quickly without having to go in and open up the contact record in and of itself. Okay, now let's talk about tasks. In the tasks section, it's a very similar layout again, like you've seen before. Over here on the left-hand side is your bulk menu options. So if you wanted to essentially reassign a bunch of dates of things that were due at one time to another date, you could do that here in bulk. You'll also notice that this checkbox is here, which we haven't seen before. This is so that you can mark an item as complete. So again, this marks it as complete. This is for bulk editing. You'll also see the star, which still means following, and you can also see a quick edit button here with the three buttons where you can change the record owner or complete the task or edit the task, those type of things. You'll also have different views. So if you wanted to see My Open Tasks, for example, then you would select that from your menu. All right, let's go through a couple of more things here on the tasks, mostly on how to add a task. So come up here to the upper right, and we're just going to click New Task, and you'll see this menu that comes up. So for the task name, I'm just going to put Sample Task, and then you can choose who this task is assigned to. If you assign the task to someone else, they're going to receive an email letting them know that you have assigned them a task, and it will also show up in their task list. You can also select a category that applies to the task if you would like to, and then select a due date for when you want that task to happen. I always recommend adding due dates, because if you don't add a due date, it will end up at the very bottom of someone's to-do list and can be easily overlooked. So I always add in a due date, even if it means that it needs to be modified later on. If it is a longer task that's taking place maybe over the course of a week, you could also add in a start date so that they have a frame of reference of when they need to start the project, not only when the task is due. Once you have a date added here in the due date section, then you'll see that you now have the opportunity to cause this task to repeat. So if you wanted it to repeat maybe every month, then you can set it up to do that. You can also select the priority and the different statuses that appear. In the related section is where you can put in what this task is related to. So if there is an opportunity or project, you can start typing it here and it will automatically pull up a list that you can select from to create that link. The description information down here at the bottom is great if you're wanting to go into more detail or include some links or trainings or something like that on how to get the task done. When you are complete, just go ahead and click Save, and now you'll be able to see the task details. If you notice, it still has a related tab so that you can see the things that it's connected to. If the task is connected to something such as an opportunity, then you'll be able to see the task in your own task list, but you will also be able to see that task connected to the opportunity. So you'll be able to see it in multiple places. Thank you so much.